Nigeria and Vietnam explore more areas of collaboration in agriculture and technology.
It will be an all-of-government decision.
Diplomatic row. Nigeria recalls ambassador from Indonesia to decide future relationship.
In the view of this committee as representative of people and the National Assembly, that we have done what we can.
Plus, House of Representatives mediates in resident doctors' dispute with federal government. Good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. I'm Ian Ray John. Adiola Komiokere in Lagos and Ogochukuka Ona from Benin will be reading with me tonight. Thank you for joining us. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says with the opportunities existing in agriculture and technology in Nigeria and Vietnam, both countries will benefit from effective collaboration in these sectors and thereby deepen their friendly relationships. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
During a court visit by the ambassador of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam to Nigeria, Qua Long, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says there have been talks in the past about specific areas, especially cashew processing, rice growing, and rice processing, where Vietnam has shown great innovation and great success. These are areas, he observes, the two countries can do a lot more with cooperation. The Vice President also notes that other areas of collaboration between Nigeria and Vietnam would be in the interaction of young people actively engaged within the technology space in both countries. In his remarks, Ambassador Qua Long commends Nigeria's role in Africa has been enormous and states that Vietnam would always wish to have Nigeria's support in multilateral forums, most importantly, the United Nations. He says that the economic potential between both countries is huge and hopes Nigeria would soon recognize Vietnam as a country of full market economy, and Nigeria and Vietnam would sign an agreement on investment, promotion, and protection. The ambassador adds that 5,000 to 7,000 Nigerians studying and helping in the development of the economy of Vietnam, and also requests the consideration of direct flights between Nigeria and Vietnam. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Away from the State House now, a case has been made to the United Nations to set up a humanitarian hub in Gashua Town, Yobe North Senatorial District, as a strategy towards providing quick response to humanitarian crisis that may arise due to pockets of attacks on the residents by insurgents. The Deputy Governor, Yobe State, Brade Gubana, handed the request while playing host to a United Nations delegation at the Government House, Damaturu. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa has details.
A recent survey conducted by the World Food Programme indicates that more than 1.4 million people are in need of food in Yobe State. The study relates this development to more than a decade-long activities of insurgents that displaced many from their homes and denying them their source of livelihood. While exchanging views with the Deputy Governor of Yobe State at the Government House Damaturu, the United Nations Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator Edward Kalon, flanked by the Regional Director, World Food Programme, Mr. Chris Nicole, says plans are underway to support more than 1 million affected persons under the intervention of the World Food Programme by next month.
In general, here in the Northeast, 4.4 million people were in need of urgent humanitarian assistance, especially during this lean period now. This is both in BENUE, Adamawa, and Yobe states.
Conscious of our predicament, the present administration of Yobe State is making concerted efforts at revamping agriculture for speedy recovery and restoration of livelihood in the state.
The Deputy Governor Yobe State, Idi Barde Gubana, noted with appreciation the United Nations giant stride that led to the recent facilitation and commencement of the United Nations Air Services along Maiduguri-Damaturu Highway to give way for humanitarian activities with ease. From Damaturu, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nigeria has recalled its ambassador in Indonesia for diplomatic consultation over the recent manhandling of an envoy by immigration officials in Jakarta last weekend. Foreign Desk correspondent Usman Aliyu now reports.
This video is the reason Nigeria decided to engage in detailed diplomatic consultation to determine the future of relations with Indonesia.
Illegal action took place during a roundup by Indonesian immigration officials or search for irregular and illegal migrants in their country.
And the next step for the government here is to engage in backroom diplomacy about the matter, which it says contravene international law on diplomacy.
When we called the ambassador back for consultations, and those consultations be wider than the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It'll be at the highest level of government, and we will then decide when we have all the elements and other actors beyond Ministry of Foreign Affairs are also involved. So it will be an all-of-government decision with regards to how we go forward with relations with Indonesia.
Nigeria and Indonesia have been in relations since 1965. And it was Jakarta who started the diplomatic mission in Nigeria, the first it established in sub-Saharan Africa. Nigeria and Indonesia have multi-million-dollar trade relations, which is the second largest in the continent. That is why both countries act to defuse the issue and avoid diplomatic row. Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
In other news, over 24,000 Nigerian passports have been processed by the Nigerian High Commission in the United Kingdom in the last 3 months. The Nigerian High Commissioner to the UK, Ambassador Tunji Sherafai-Shola, disclosed this when the chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NITCOM, APPREHENDS, paid him a courtesy visit in London.
Ambassador Shola explained that the Nigerian mission has cleared a backlog of 17,000 applications, adding that the mission now post-processed passports to applicants rather than the previous process of coming back to collect their passports. The Nigerian High Commissioner has advised Nigerians to apply for renewal 6 months, which will now have a 10-year validity.
The issue of consular services, particularly passport, has really improved with what was met on ground.
Presenting a copy of the recently ratified and adopted National Diaspora Policy to the High Commissioner, NITCOM Chairman APPREHENDS commended the innovations as it relates to issuance of passports.
We just have to ensure that the mission sustains it and keeps it up. So it's been quite encouraging what I hear from Nigerians here in the UK mission, particularly as it relates to passport.
Some Nigerians present at the mission also commented.
The ambassador and Mama Diaspora, they've been doing so well. They should just keep it up with what they are doing. We are very, very impressed.
The High Commissioner and NITCOM urged various diaspora groups in the UK to work in unity to fast-track development back home, as well as strengthen bilateral relations between Nigeria and the United Kingdom.
Back home, the All Progressives Congress Governors Forum has called for the immediate suspension of the strike by resident doctors to allow negotiations to continue. The APC Governors Forum Chairman, Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State, in a statement said APC governors are engaged in consultations with the leadership of the resident doctors, noting that most of the grievances of the resident doctors are with state governments. The forum appealed to the resident doctors to negotiate with individual state governments, and issues affecting resident doctors and federal establishments should be negotiated with the relevant agencies. Leadership of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency says it is wrapping up training of 40,739 health workers across the national, state and world levels on Phase 2 strategic vaccines rollout with focus on improving delivery, communication and data management. Charles Alpha brings us details.
3,363 teams, the National Primary Health Care Boss, Dr. Faiza Shuaib, said will be deployed with kickoff of the Phase 2 strategic rollout plans due to begin next week. 2,690 teams are expected to man the fixed post, while 673 will be on the temporary post. Part of the rollout plans include prioritizing the 170,000 doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine the agency is due to take delivery for those in the hard-to-reach terrains and elderly.
While we are hopeful and well prepared to roll out the second phase of the vaccination plan, let me assure everyone that COVID-19 vaccines, regardless of brand, as long as they've been approved by NAFDAC, have the same safety, the same effectiveness all across the brands.
To boost the uptake of vaccine, government, traditional and religious institutions, as well as community influencers need to scale up operations and step up sensitization efforts to address vaccine hesitancy.
588,800 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine are expected from the COVAX facilities in the coming days for those yet to take the second dose, while anyone above the age of 18, the agency said, is eligible for vaccination. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Still on health, a framework strategy for the development of vesico-vaginal fistula, VVF, roadmap to curb occurrences and reintegrate survivors is one of the major projects before the Ministry of Women Affairs. A one-day key players meeting was therefore held in Abuja to set an agenda. Momso Damian Dati reports.
All the way from Kogi State, Jamila Suleiman, a wife and mother of two, has traveled down to Abuja for this meeting. Hastari is married at 22 and suffered VVF for 2 years, 6 months.
I was in labor for a day. The doctor advised that I should go for CS. I wanted natural childbirth, so I declined. And in the end, when the baby came out, she gave me this tear. My story started with fistula. You don't even feel you want to urinate. It just comes. And when one is in a public place and you just feel yourself wet, it's really embarrassing.
So, what is this obstetric fistula?
Obstetric fistula simply means an abnormal hole between bladder and vagina of a woman, which was gotten as a result of childbirth injury. Nigeria is one of the countries that has high maternal mortality rates.
In recognition of the strategic role of women in sustainable and national development, and in a bid to improve on their lives, the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs is happy to articulate a structured environment to guide the implementation of VVF programs in Nigeria.
The meeting is to reinvigorate efforts at cutting down or totally eliminating the 12,000 new cases of VVF recorded annually in Nigeria. Momso Damian Dati, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari congratulates Nigerians and the Muslim world on the new year 1443 and the commemoration of the migration of Prophet Muhammad from Makkah to Medina. The president urges Muslims and other citizens to imbibe the lessons of compassion, peace, and support for one another. President Buhari urged Muslims to reflect on the importance and historic significance of the HIJRAH and the overall teachings of the Holy Prophet and follow his examples. Time now for a first break. Please stay.
Will this penalty be the decider? It's going through the player's mind here. You could cut the tension with a knife. Is there one more twist in this long, rocky road to the final? And here's the kick, and he scores! They've taken the win, they're through.
Don't worry, my boy. There's always a next time. Yes.
1 every match with Glow special data plans. For everything Glow, dial *777#. Great supporters of football. Glow.
The Board of Trustees and Management of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund cordially wish to inform the general public that the 3rd edition of the fund's Taxpayers Forum has been scheduled as follows. Date: 12th August 2021. Venue: Continental Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos. Time: 10 a.m. The forum, which is an avenue for formal interaction and strengthening a partnership with education taxpayers nationwide, is aimed at enlightening taxpayers on the trends of collection as well as showcasing the judicious utilization of education tax on projects and programs in Nigeria's public tertiary institutions. Kindly note that attendance to the event is strictly on invitation, and all COVID-19 protocols will be observed. However, there would be a live broadcast of the event on NTA Network. Announcer, Professor Suleiman Elias Bogoro, Executive Secretary, TETFUND.
You won't go shake your body. Instead, they make it calm down. Eat the farm, say you sabi. You want to grow 6 packs in a day. I beg you not to pass your power. You want to show yourself, oh.
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you.
Airtel. It's scary, isn't it? Putting yourself out there, ignoring the voices telling you can't. Moments like these are when your fight or flight response kick in. Will you step aside? Or will you go for it? After all, what's the worst that could happen? So, keep trying. Don't stop. Don't give up. Push harder. Give it everything you've got. Because nothing is really impossible when you dig deep. Believe in yourself and go for it. Aladana, available in many variants to nourish you every step of the way.
Enjoy faster connectivity and amazing discounts in the Airtel HBB seasonal offer. Get a MiFi for 9,999 Naira plus up to 55 GB data, or a router for 19,999 Naira plus up to 160 GB data. Offer valid while stock lasts. More data, more you. Reliable home broadband bar.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Blues will look to start the new season with a victory against former rival Patrick Vieira as he leads his London side, Crystal Palace, to Stamford Bridge. This Saturday, it's Chelsea versus Crystal Palace on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
Thank you for staying. Let's now talk politics. The enlarged meeting of the People's Democratic Party has ended in Abuja with the resolve to convene a National Executive Committee meeting of the party, most likely next week, where all issues in contention are expected to be addressed. Timothy Yusuf reports.
This Tuesday morning witnessed continuation of protest for and against the national chairman of the PDP, Prince Uche Secondus. This continuation of reconciliation meeting is at the instance of the PDP Board of Trustees, with the 13 governors of the party, as well as National Working Committee members.
Nothing will be difficult to resolve.
and we are on the pathway to bring Nigeria good news of peace that will reign in this party. We should put away all our personal interest base.
National Assembly leadership of the party promised to continue to be on the path of what will entrench peace and unity in the party. Chairman of the PDP Governors Forum and Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, thereafter relates the resolution of the meeting.
We are committed to resolving all the issues we have, and you will soon hear from us what our own views and position as your children, as people that you have facilitated and helped to put in office, not your financiers, are going to see.
Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State, who chairs the party's National E-Registration Committee, earlier briefed the larger house of the successes so far recorded in the exercise. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The national chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, Victor Oye, has described the appeal court judgment that declared former central bank governor, Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, as the party's standard bearer ahead of the November 6 governorship election in Anambra State as having the fruit of justice. Addressing journalists at the APGA National Secretariat in Abuja, the national chairman said the judiciary under the Buhari administration has proven itself as a critical partner in building a stronger democracy in Nigeria.
I want to use this opportunity to call on INEC to do the needful without further delay by replacing the name there by court order and put the rightful candidate there. The court has affirmed the leadership under me, affirmed Soludo as the candidate of the party. So I wish to appeal to every party, every Nigerian, to have a rethink the way they approach politics. Remove violence, remove greed, remove malfeasance, and let's work together for the good of our country.
He appealed to supporters of APGA to remain calm and actively support the pre-election processes of the party and urged the Independent National Electoral Commission to publish the name of Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo as the party's governorship candidate for the November 6 Anambra governorship poll. And in Kaduna, to further consolidate and peace-building initiatives in southern Kaduna, a high-power delegation from the state government has visited Zango Kataf to interface with diverse groups in the community. Haruna Mohammed reports.
In what many consider as a unique opportunity, leaders of the various groups take turn to make submissions.
Everybody should down his weapons. There should be no further attacks. We hope this will be the end, and if it becomes the end, we will rejoice.
This meeting is very important because through it we can resolve our differences.
This is a follow-up to earlier intermediation by stakeholders on peace and confidence building among the people. Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aron, heads the high-power delegation.
So we listen to all parties, and what is clear is the fact that deviant in all sides are responsible for what we are experiencing here.
We are never deterred in our commitment, in our resolve to continue to pursue peace in the state, no matter the kind of setback we experience.
All of them are guilty of the same crimes.
This is a new approach by the Kaduna State government to allow communities in dispute to embrace genuine reconciliation. In Kaduna, Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
The Imo State Police Command has arrested the alleged chief priest of the proscribed IPOB and Eastern Security Network members in Imo State. A statement by the Police Public Relations Officer, Mike Abatam, indicates that the arrest followed the confession of a suspect who, on interrogation, revealed the identity and location of the IPOB chief priest in Ikeduru local government area of Imo State, where he was arrested. Items recovered from the home of the chief priest include one pump-action gun with 5 rounds of live cartridges, one improvised explosive device, knockouts, gunpowder, and Biafran flag. The Commissioner of Police, Imo State Command, Abutu Yaro, has therefore commended the officers and men for being proactive and urged them not to relent until the terror groups are completely neutralized in the state. Now, the Ministry of Police Affairs is prioritizing training and development of officers and men of the Nigeria Police Force in the fight against crime and criminality. Minister of Police Affairs, Muhammad Maigari Dingyadi, stated this in a lecture at the National Institute of Police Studies, Abuja. Francis Fom has details.
Being in tune with the latest tactics and technological advances are crucial for the police in crime fighting. This platform gives the Police Affairs Minister to give some reassuring news to the men in the force of the good plans the federal government has for them to be victorious at the crime scene. Approval of the automation of police specialized services to promote transparency and accountability, as well as serve as an additional source of funding to enhance police operations are just few. The minister updated his men.
National resources are being allocated to, amongst other things, assist in furthering the capacity of officers. These interventions are partly in fulfillment of Mr. President's promise to better equip the police for effectiveness and efficiency.
With the rising speed of homeland crimes, the minister advised personnel that let their hands always be on the trigger and keep the criminals on the losing side. Francis from NTA News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has apprehended no fewer than 43 drug pushers in Nasarawa, Benue and ONDO states. In a statement by the agency, the raids led to the seizure of 137.55 kilograms of assorted drugs, to include cocaine, cannabis sativa, cough syrup with codeine, rofinol and tramadol, among others. While cannabis planted by the drug dealers in some adjoining bushes were destroyed, as well as stores dealing in illicit substances in markets were dismantled and set ablaze. The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, has reiterated President Muhammadu Buhari's directive for holistic examination and review of the operations of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDLEA, which culminated in the inauguration of forensic auditors. Akpabio, who said this when he received the forensic audit report from the security team in his office, expressed satisfaction on the job done, stating that the report would definitely be a turning point for the Commission and development of the Niger Delta region, while stressing that 389 security team comprising personnel of the Nigerian Navy, Army, Nigerian Police Force, Department of State Services and Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, which were involved in the exercise, was formed about a year ago. In the aftermath of the flood disaster that ravaged Gadabio in Wako community along the Kwali-Abaji-Lokoja highway, victims are still counting their losses. Ilyasu Notu Yakubu, who visited the area in this update, reports that they fervently appealed to the concerned authorities and God-spirited individuals to come to their aid, as most of them say they have lost everything.
A farmer, Rabiu Abubakar, in Gadabiu, and a host of others are yet to come to terms with the reality of the level of destruction that nature has meted out on them. But farming is the only source of livelihood they know, and so they reluctantly gather their strength to return back to the fields, trying to salvage what is left of their crops.
I've never experienced this type of destruction for 36 years. We have been here. Our effort wasted and the farms totally destroyed.
They want to replant, but most of them don't have the means of replanting.
Across the vast stretch of these fields, even beyond the mountain, food crops such as banana plantation, rice and maize that would have contributed in no small measure to national food security, all destroyed in one swoop.
Presently, they are rendered homeless and helpless, and they are looking for the assistance of both the non-governmental organizations and the government to help them out to solve their own problems.
I farm rice. If you go to my farm today, if you put your leg, if you enter my farm, you discover it brought this mold and cover my rice plantation.
From Gadabiu, Kwali Area Council, Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
Now, the federal government has reiterated its commitment to the timely completion of the Bodo-Boni Road project in Rivers State to boost socio-economic activities in the area. Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, gave the assurance after inspecting the progress of work on the project. Robinson Deratiede has the details.
The Bodo-Boni Road project has continued to attract attention. To ascertain the progress of the 40-kilometer project, the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, was on a routine inspection of the road from the Bodo axis in Gokana Local Council down to Bobo Channel in Andoni Local Council, where a major bridge will connect to Boni Island. A total of 4.6 kilometers, amounting to 3.79%, has been achieved.
As much as we can to quickly complete it. One major bridge has been completed. Hopefully by next year, if you come here, I'm sure most of what needs to be done on the Opobo crossing would have been completed. All the costs that is attributed to delays moving from Bodo to Boni is now going to disappear.
Some community leaders commend President Muhammadu Buhari for the project and requested that Ataba community in Andoni Local Council be connected to the project.
The trip now will be by far easier on road than in water. And even to track all these people who cause all this insecurity will be much faster.
That is poor to Ataba, a provision for which has been made already on this road, should continue to be part of this road.
A job opportunity will come, investment will come. So we thank the federal government, especially the president of this country.
Although not much work has been done at the Boni axis, the minister assures the people of uninterrupted work until the project is actualized. From Bodo in River State, Robinson Deratiede, NTA News.
We will take a breather here and let Adeola feed us from Lagos. Adeola, it's over to you.
Thank you, Inhere. Conscious of a crucial role that other agencies can play in the actualization of its mandate of securing Nigeria's civil space, the Nigerian police say it will continue to seek needed synergy and cooperation in its statutory campaign against insecurity. Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 2, Lagos, Johnson Kokumo, said this at a maiden meeting with the Flag Officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Jason Bassa in Lagos. Adeneyi Taiwo reports.
More than at any other time in recent history, the EndSARS protest of October 2020 underscored the need for interagency collaboration in the business of ensuring internal security. Commending such synergy and cooperation, the new Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 2 Lagos, AIG Johnson Kokumo, said although the police is the lead agency for civil protection, the force needs all the help it can get to really discharge its mandate.
No single organization can do the job alone, and that is why I'm here. One, to familiarize myself, let me know him, let him know me. We interface, and we see what we can possibly do to collaborate efforts in area of fighting crime and criminalities in our areas of responsibility.
For Rear Admiral Jason Bassa, the call for more synergy is significant in addressing the nation's security challenge, especially if deliberate steps can be taken to ensure that operatives of the various security organizations share intelligence.
We want to break official lines to make sure that this interaction comes even to the informal lines where our men will be able to interact during their social functions.
As the meeting rounds off, the resolve is to have similar meetings in the future towards blurring the sharp edges and aligning the interests of the two agencies. In Lagos, Adeneyi Taiwo, NTA News.
Not done with security matters yet. No other activity prepares a military force better for combat than combat itself. This explains why the Nigerian Army continuously organizes training for its personnel with provision of logistics to enhance confidence and competence to reinvigorate and empower them. Lynn Lenake reports on this year's combat proficiency competition in Lagos.
Every skill requires sustained effort or training to perfect it. This is why training on combat readiness and proficiency remains critical to military operations among mid-level officers in the Nigerian Army hierarchy. These mid-level officers are currently undergoing various trainings ranging from weapon handling to live shooting, among others, to tackle headlong the insecurity ravaging parts of the country. Representative of the General Officer Commanding 81 Division says the training focuses on operations inclined to improve officers' combat efficiency, aimed at further professionalizing the Nigerian Army.
We are training to improve our proficiency, to have a professional army that is ready to accomplish a mission within a joint environment in defense of Nigeria.
9 Brigade, 81 Division Garrison, 35 Artillery, and 45 Brigade Engineers are the 4 teams participating in the exercise. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
You're still watching the network news. We'll take another break. More stories when we return. Stay with us.
We don't almost reach, Abby. Okay. Guys, the mechanic is almost here.
Madam!
What do you think is wrong?
Madam, no be smart way they worry this your bike. Carburetor and radiator, you don't pafuka. If you want fix that, 50,000.
I guess I have no choice. Give me size 10 Allen Q.
Madam, the top of those points, you need to buy new one. New one at 16,000.
Thanks for the help, guys. I'll be on my way now. Parenting your tools.
Ride the digital wave for the whole year with 1 terabyte of data for just 100,000 naira. Dial *777#.
We are StarTimes, the most affordable digital pay TV platform with the widest signal coverage in Nigeria, dedicated to bringing the best TV entertainment around the world to your screen. From Hollywood to Bollywood to Nollywood, we offer the most affordable subscription. Enjoy over 75 channels for as low as 1,700 naira, like Nat Geo Wild, BBC, ESPN, and premium sport like Emirates FA Cup, La Liga, Bundesliga, wrestling. What's more exciting? We have the most flexible payment options in Nigeria. Don't dull. Join us now for an exciting journey. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
What's the difference between regular data and MTN data? I'll show you. With regular data, you get this. But with MTN data, you get moved right into the action like this. And this. And this. And this. With MTN data, you don't just get more, you experience more. Need loads of data to live your dream? Turn it up on MTN, the reliable data network.
The Blues will look to start the new season with a victory against former rival Patrick Vieira as he leads his London side, Crystal Palace, to Stamford Bridge. This Saturday, it's Chelsea versus Crystal Palace on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
Glad to have you back. Time for business, and Benny Adams is here.
Thank you, Mary, and welcome to business.
The introduction of annual finance bills and measures taken to reduce cost of governance are some of the reform measures government is taking to address the long-standing challenge of domestic revenue mobilization, which is now gaining ground through continued implementation of the Strategic Revenue Generation Initiative. NECAOCO reports that the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, gave the insight at the National Dialogue on COVID-19 Economic Impact and Assessment of National and State Recovery Plans and Policy Options in Abuja.
We will continue to improve the enabling environment for the private sector to ensure the creation of jobs and to support diversification away from oil and gas. In particular, we are also implementing programs that are aimed at creating jobs for our youths, supporting MSMEs, and furthermore, we are scaling up interventions that are aimed at improving economic empowerment of women and girls.
And on capital markets, investors gain 317.48 billion naira as all share index appreciated by 1.58% to close at 39,176.62 basis points, while equity capitalization is 20.4 trillion naira. 474.5 million shares valued at 3.9 billion naira exchanged hands in 4,161 deals. Market breadth closed positive as Airtel Afrique led 21 gainers as against 16 losers, topped by Julie at the end of today's session. BOC Gas, Guarantee and AT were the most active to boost market turnover, just as BOC Gas and Guarantee topped the market value list. Here, it's nice doing business with you.
Thank you, Benny. Advancing the issues of women and children living with disabilities, top discussions at an event organized by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. Ruth Aguela reports that the goal is to promote inclusion for women and children with special needs.
From the house and the church, I have to pass an express. They cannot mean down.
Every scar, they say, has a story. Ave Akiger shares her story on how she became disabled. For her and her likes here, who also have special needs, social inclusion is key in making their lives more meaningful.
Women with disabilities should be carried along. We should be represented in leadership position and decision making.
What you thought that person with disability cannot do, they can do it. As you can see me like this, I'm a footballer.
To develop realistic strategies for care and support for women and children with disabilities, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is holding this dialogue to address challenges faced by persons with special needs to enable them have access to health care, education, employment and rehabilitation services.
The ADE-COLE coalition with other relevant stakeholders are here to evolve modalities on the best global practice to care for women and children with disabilities.
The meeting is aimed at evolving strategies to provide platform for the inclusion of women and girls with disabilities in development.
As we work towards budget for next year, we are going to allocate massive budgetary allocation for women with disabilities in Nigeria.
The goal here is leaving no one behind, break barriers through collaborative efforts, and facilitate social inclusion for women and children with disabilities. In Abuja, Ruth Aguela, NTA News.
Let's now visit the ancient city of Benin, where Ogochukwuka has the latest.
Thank you, Eri. Welcome. As the physical aspects of the continuous voter registration exercise enters its second week, some INEC registration centers in Edo State have started to witness a surge in the number of people who are seeking to be captured. Jude Abuku, who monitored the exercise in Oredo and Ego local government areas, tells us more.
These are prospective registrants besieging the Ekanwa Road office of the Independent National Electoral Commission. They have come with the hope of completing the registration process, which they had commenced online. Some of them are, however, experiencing the disappointment of being unable to complete the process on the same day.
The paper when they give us, they tell us that the paper not be today, not be today. And not today, then they say make I come. I bet me go make something to do me, they bring me she can. Mostly say, anyone place to register, which is not make sense.
Contrary to their views, the crew on gaining entry into the office discovered that the machines are working seamlessly and that the INEC personnel were busy attending to registrants.
It's just the awareness, and ONDO is the heart of Edo State. So we have many residents in ONDO.
The situation was orderly at Egon local government area INEC office, and registrants expressed satisfaction with the process.
The system has been nice, it's orderly, and then the due process is being followed.
I came here, they gave me form, then it's not up to about 30 minutes to get to my turn.
The crew also observed that the number of people who recently turned 18 coming for the exercise are low compared to those coming for updates and card replacements. In Benin, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
And the last break in the news tonight is now. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
As Nigeria diversifies its agricultural resources as alternative to crude oil, this week, Tuesday Live shall focus on the National Agricultural Lands Development Authority, NALDA, food sufficiency and national security. Tuesday Live, every week at 10:30 p.m. It promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
The Blues will look to start.
Welcome back. Tamper justice with mercy were the words of the House of Representatives Committee on Health Care Services to contending sides as it intervened to ensure the return of members of the National Association of Resident Doctors to work. National Assembly correspondent Lamiele reports on the mediation effort.
Key actors in the industrial action by the National Association of Resident Doctors, Ministries of Health and Finance, chief medical directors and union representatives in search of solutions to the lingering industrial crisis in the health sector, the recent of which commenced 10 days ago, crippling services across hospitals in the country. The three issues to address are funding for residency training, payment of backlog of salaries, and validation for staff employed in hospitals. The Budget Office confirmed that 5.42 billion naira has been provided in the 2021 supplementary budget to take care of residency training, which the Ministry of Health was told to apply for to enable release.
Outstanding of 2020 and for 2021. And as I indicated, we have the cash.
If that is passed to my minister and it comes to my table, I am obliged to pay.
On the backlog of unpaid salaries and consequential adjustments, the delay of which is as a result of a court order, a document the union representatives said they are yet to confirm its existence, led to the committee demanding from the Ministry of Health the documents in contention.
We will look for it and let you know, please. We will do that.
The second factor pertains to what CMDs refer to as emergency recruitments to fill critical vacancies. This, the Office of the Head of Service said was done without due process.
They asked for recruitment waiver and we're working on it. However, they have an unanswered question with respect to movement from GIFMIX to IPPIs. Most of the cadre they put in their GIFMIX is not known in the scheme of service.
When and how this waiver can be obtained to enable capture and payments of the affected personnel is why the committee wants concerned parties to bend back a bit in order to reach a resolution to restore industrial harmony in hospitals. In the interim, a committee, as suggested by the House, with membership drawn from all major players in the health sector, is to be set up to find ways of ensuring that filling vacancies in health centers are made more flexible, fast and transparent for the benefit of Nigerians.
It is our hope that we have come to the end of the conclusion and we are at batch of going to the Federal Ministry of Health so that we can document all that we have agreed. Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, that all that was discussed is not acceptable to them because of, I don't know, reason, probably lack of trust or not.
It's quite easy to come and say political call of the strike when even before 917 days. Everything in that paper was not honored.
I want to appeal to both parties to shift grounds where necessary, and let us allow peace to reign in the interest of Nigeria.
For now, the new scheme of service on housemanship and NYSC doctors, as captured in a recent circular, remain for the sake of equity in the civil service. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The Blues will look to start the new season with a victory against former rival Patrick Vieira as he leads his London side, Crystal Palace, to Stamford Bridge. This Saturday, it's Chelsea versus Crystal Palace on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. See, finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly. Until one day, James discovered something big. He can finally say, our home, our football.
Get GoTV plus 1 month max subscription for only 6,900 naira. You fit enjoy the Ogbonge football leagues where day, plus better cup competitions this football season. GoTV, love it.
Let's now join Buddy for sports update.
Many thanks, Yere. After his shock Barcelona exit, Lionel Messi has just completed his move to Paris Saint-Germain. The 6-time Ballon d'Or winner arrived in Paris on Tuesday afternoon to seal his move to the French club on a 2-year deal, with an option for a third. But what's involved in the deal and how are football fans taking it? Ochengbede will tell us more.
Speculation over the final destination of Lionel Messi after his departure from Barcelona littered the social media. Fans of various clubs continue to pitch for their club to sign the 6-time Ballon d'Or winner. Most fans went as far as posting pictures of the Argentine in various club jerseys on social media. But it was Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain that looked like a destination for the player, with contact made across all levels to sign him. Now the speculation has finally been put to rest, with PSG agreeing a 2-year deal with the player with an option of a 3rd year and subject to a medical for the 34-year-old Argentina captain. Considered as one of the greatest players of all time, Messi scored a record 672 goals in 778 games for Barcelona, the club he joined as a 13-year-old kid. He won the Ballon d'Or a record 6 times and lifted 35 trophies with Barcelona. The signing of Messi, who will be reunited with former Barca teammate Neymar Jr. at PSG, is one of the most noteworthy captures in football histories, according to football fans.
You know, they have this good combination while they were in Barcelona, and now they will be together again, you know, trying to win more silverware.
It's a good one for him. And the 6-time world best player, we have a new direction, a new dream in life.
If you're a football fan, you want Messi to be in PSG rather than be in Man City. So I want to see him playing for PSG next season.
PSG's offer to Lionel Messi is thought to be worth £25 million a year after tax. All things being equal, the Argentine look likely to be unveiled in the coming days. In Abuja, Ochengbede, NTA.
In a similar development, Rafael Varane is undergoing the first part of his Manchester United medical ahead of completing a transfer from Real Madrid. United, who hope to finalize the signing in the next 24 to 48 hours, reached an agreement with Real Madrid last month to sign the France defender for a fee believed to be in the region of £41 million, including add-ons. The centre-back, a World Cup winner in 2018, will become United's third summer signing. And finally, achieving mental and physical fitness for all Nigerians and building a virile sporting industry is a task that demands all hands on deck. This came to the fore at the presentation of Sports Leadership Award of Excellence to the Director General, Raw Materials Research and Development Council, Professor Hussein Idoko Ibrahim, by the Nigeria Sports Hall of Fame in Abuja Tuesday.
A workforce that is not fit definitely will not be productive. And this is one way that we can begin to increase or improve our productivity by encouraging fit fitness in our institutions.
Sports is not longer just for leisure, but is a business globally. And then we have to take our youth out of the streets.
No doubt, sports is now big business. That's all on sports. It's back to your area.
Thank you, Buddy. The death has been announced of a devout Christian, school teacher, politician, broadcaster, and former presidential liaison officer, Senate, Mrs. Juliana ADE-COLE. Funeral arrangement from the family indicates that there will be a service of songs on Friday, the 10th August 2021 at the National Christian Center, Abuja, by 4 p.m. This will be followed by a wake keep on Thursday, 19th August at the deceased residence, Corridor Quarters, Kaba, Kogi State, by 5 p.m. Friday, 20th August, service of songs at the Cathedral Church of St. Andrews, Kaba, by 10 a.m. Late Mrs. Juliana ADE-COLE is survived by husband, Elder J.O. ADE-COLE, and children. And that's Network News tonight. Many thanks for watching. And here's a quick reminder. Continue to speak out, take action, and join NTA in the fight against rape and rapists. Good night.